Hello everybody, I'm Liz Merrick. This is me and all my fabulousness. Yeah, I couldn't find my battery. Sorry, Shelly. I told her like an hour ago that I was gonna start scoping in 10 minutes. Hello everybody. Hello. So I haven't done a tutorial-based periscope in quite a while, so I got a little bit of a kick in the pants from my friend Anna Ferreira, and she was like, "Are you not feeling okay? You haven't periscoped in a while." And I was like, "I haven't periscoped in a while. I need to get off my butt and periscope and do something creative." Hi Scott, nice to see you on here. So I was like, what could I make that's not a tutorial, that's not a collaboration, that's not for anything, something that's just fun? And I've been wanting to do a Wonder Woman cake topper forever. So today's the day. Today is the day that I make a Wonder Woman cake topper. And I'm gonna do it off of the DC Comics Bombshell style. And I'm just gonna do it the same way I've done it for years and years, which is with fondant and a center support and a few simple tools. I might use my face mold depending on how fast things go, but I'll try and do it without the face mold for people who don't have face molds. I could talk to you about how I make face molds if you're interested in that. Also, my voice sounds like this because I'm getting over a cold. So you get my super seductive smoker voice. And I also wanted to show you guys a couple of my new equipment that I'm using for filming tutorials for the sugargeekshow.com, gotta plug that, so that the video quality is gonna be a lot better. So I'm moving my little thing here. This is my table. This is one of the new tools I have, which is just like a, it's a tripod that's on wheels. Oops. I can't really tilt down, I guess. I can, see? Ew, fancy. So there's that. And then I got a new camera. This is the Canon 70D. It's supposed to be really good for videography. So it has really good settings and stuff. The lens focuses really easily. And then I got this little guy here, which is a battery operated fill light. So you can focus that on stuff and light it up. And it's diffused, so it's not super bright, but it focuses on whatever you need. If you need to message me, you can email me, info@sugargeekshow.com. This is a Canon 70D, 70D. Hey Avalon. This camera was actually recommended to me by Avalon Yarns. So I'm using this tutorial basically as an excuse to practice filming with my new camera. I don't have my new microphone yet, so the video quality will be really good, but the sound quality will still be just kind of generic. So I gotta go grab my battery real quick and stick that in there. Okay, so this just has a battery, little cap here. Try and carefully do this. I'm like so paranoid I'm gonna drop my camera now that like it's a brand new one. Put this in properly. Okay, and then this should slide on. What if I just like dropped this like right in front of you guys? Wouldn't that be horrible? Okay. So this is what I use now for my tutorials. So I'm just gonna set this up right on my spot here. I'll show you guys what I'm doing. So I'm turning it on. My lens. I already have my settings all set up, so I'm not going to worry about changing any of my settings. Focused. Okay, All the lighting looks good. I'll lock my wheels so they don't roll around on me. And then I'm just going to press start. And hopefully it just does its thing while I do my thing. Oh, thank you, Shelly. All right. So, the light fixture is called a Neewer, Neewer light, and it goes on top of the camera. Wasn't that expensive? If you message me, I'll try and give you a link to it. I can't remember exactly what the name of it is. All right, let's pretend I'm making a tutorial. So, we're going to make a Wonder Woman cake topper using fondant and some just simple tools. I usually build my toppers on top of a styrofoam dummy that is the size of whatever cake it's going to go on, so that you can make sure that the topper is proportionate. I have here a piece of 10 gauge, I believe, floral wire. This is an aluminum wire that has a plastic coating basically on it. It's used for florists so that it doesn't rust. And it's great for building toppers on because you can position your topper pretty easily. And I'm just going to place that maybe about an inch from the edge. It doesn't have to go in super far. And now I'm going to think about the position that I want my gal to be in. And I'm actually not going to make her standing. I'm going to make her sitting with like one leg up and one leg kind of down the side of the cake. And then she's going to be leaning back on one hand and the other hand's going to be up in the air. So it's going to be kind of a complicated pose, but it's really not that complicated to make. Hey guys, thanks for coming. It's not that complicated to make. You really only need a center, skewer. So basically what I'm going to do is start from the body first, and then we're going to add on the legs. I need to lock this guy though. I don't want my turntable turning. So I will be putting this tutorial on YouTube later, hopefully at a nice high quality from the nice camera. Okay. And I've made a lot of topper tutorials in the past, and I haven't made one in a really long time, so it's due. It's time. So what I have here is just my LMF fondant. Oh, I gotta turn on my light. See how much brighter that is with the light? There we go, that's better. So I have my LMF fondant here. This is just a ivory color. I use AmeriColor Gel Ivory right here. And I'm just gonna use that for the skin color. Just straight up AmeriColor Ivory into the fondant. And then I add some Tylose powder. I'm using Rolcom Tylose, but any kind of Tylose or CMC will do. And what that does is that stiffens up the fondant so that it's not so soft. And it's more of like, it's got more body to it so that you can, make really phallic looking flesh colored penises. No, that's not what I meant. So you can make, shapes, and if they stand up like that, then you know that it's not too soft. If it falls over, like if it turns into a flaccid penis, then it needs more Tylose powder. And you want to add about a teaspoon of Tylose powder per cup of fondant. Yeah, it's turning into that kind of periscope, guys. So you don't want to add too much because then it starts getting crumbly. Work it in. Okay, and there's a couple of ways that you could do like the pants. Like people ask me a lot of time, yeah, this is going to be an edible cake topper. So I'm going to put her in shorts. And a lot of people ask me, how do you make somebody so that they're in pants or shorts or a skirt or whatever? And there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can make the whole body and make them like, you know, flesh colored and naked, and then put the clothes over the body. Or in this case, I'm just going to make her lower torso area out of navy colored fondant, and then build her upper torso on top of that and attach her legs to it, and then just cover the seams. That way I don't have to try and fiddle with putting clothes on her. So I just happen to have some navy colored fondant here that's kind of old, which is great because it's already firm. Yep, this is a backdrop. This is just a brick backdrop that I purchased. My phone is kind of crooked though. There we go. OCD, much? Yes, yes I am. So I'm just kneading this until it's nice and smooth. And if it was some fresh navy fondant, which is royal blue fondant with a touch of black, that's how you get navy. And if I freshly made this, it would be probably pretty soft, so you definitely want to add a lot of Tylose powder to the fondant so that it firms up. So go ahead and make her lower body. Jeez, I have to figure out how to show you guys how I'm cutting. 1 second. Okay, I think you can see that. I'm going to back you up just a tad. Okay, so I don't have to like go up and down. So I'm going to take the fondant. Yeah, this is my fondant recipe. You don't have to use my fondant recipe though. And we're going to roll it into a log and then bend it down so we have shorts. And I'm just going to pinch up the waist. And remember, this is a superhero, so she has super proportions. Not realistic proportions, really. Very, very tiny waist. So we have like that kind of shape. And I'm going to use one of my fondant tools. Give her booty some definition. There you go. And then I'm going to use a straight edge ruler and just cut at an angle there and there. So we have a little booty. I'm going to take a ball tool and just slightly hollow out the center to just make room for the legs to attach a little bit more seamlessly. And if you don't have Tylose powder in your fondant, then this tends to like squish around a lot. You could also use modeling chocolate if you wanted to. Totally acceptable. And now we're going to impale her. Onto the skewer you go. Just like that. Remember, one leg's going to be up and one leg's going to be down. So. The cutting mat is just made so that I'm not cutting on my table. Yeah, I'm going to put this on YouTube. Don't worry. Okay, water. I'm going to get both areas of this damp. Actually, I'm not going to do the legs first. I'm going to do the legs last. Let's go ahead and build up the body first. So I'm going to put a little bit of water right here. Get a little bit closer. Got my ivory. The mat is originally made for sewing. Actually, I think it's made for crafting, like using with an X-Acto knife. All right, so first I'm going to kind of measure out how much fondant I need by just sort of like holding up my fondant next to here so I don't end up with too much. And it's like kind of roughing it out. And then we're going to roll into a teardrop shape. And then I'm going to pinch a very thin amount. That's going to be the neck. And then pinch out the shoulders. If you start getting a little bit of cracks, just put a little bit of shortening on your fingers. Smooth out those cracks. So we have kind of this shape going on right now. We're going to make some boobies. Some people like add the boobs on, which you can totally do if you want to do that. I just have a hard time getting rid of the seam, and I don't like seams. So I tend to just pinch out the boobs, which sounds really funny. Pinch the boobs. And just smooth it out with your hands. Can you guys tell I've done this a couple times? Just did that like it's super simple. Boobs can be tricky, for sure. I know, the pervs are like not on here right now. I'm surprised. And then, yeah, open boobs. And then I'm just going to define the cleavage. That's a perfectly acceptable thing to say in this field. Define cleavage. All right. I think I can probably trim some of this off. I don't think she's going to be quite that tall. Let's go about there. I get apprehensive about trimming wire off too prematurely because I'm afraid that, you know, it's going to be like it's too short. This is just a piece of anodized wire. It's like an aluminum wire you can get in the floral department. It's 10 gauge. I'm going to slightly flatten the bottom here. Like so. Okay, first, make sure her spine here is in the position that I want it to be. I want her back to be kind of arched backwards. That's a little bit hard to do after you get the body on. teeny tiny waist. And then work the boobies, work the boobies. Like so. I'm gonna put in just a line here, line there. Use my sugar shapers. Just kind of defining her collarbone area a little bit. All tools are your friend. I really want her to be buxom, so I'm like really spending a lot of time on her boobs. Or maybe I'm just a pervert. You'll never know. Maybe I get my jollies from playing with fondant boobs. All right. There is this lovely armpit area / side boob we don't want to forget. Not as important on this side because her arm's going to be down. All right. I'm going to put a shirt on her. Let's see what colors I got. Maybe I got some red. Didn't have any leftover red fondant, but I do have orange. Got this bright leftover orange. So I'm going to take this orange. Good night. Good night. Add a little bit of red, maybe. Try not to get it all over my fingers. And then people say, "Oh my God, your nails are dirty." Careful. red, but I want it to be kind of a maroonish color. So I'm going to take some of my navy. Hello. Oh, hi, Sachiko. How are you? Yeah, it's about 10 o'clock here, and usually I would probably be just hanging out playing video games or, like, I don't know, being useless. So I decided to test out my new camera and do some work and make a new video because I haven't made one in a while. Okay, so we got now a nice little maroonish red color. If you guys have problems coloring your fondant, I have a tutorial on YouTube that's called, I think it's called Color Theory for Fondant or something like that. I don't know the name exactly, but it teaches you how to color fondant. Okay. So I'm going to roll out some of this fondant. This fondant is my own recipe. It's called LMF fondant. It's made with marshmallows and Wilton fondant. Just roll out your fondant. So I kind of do this the lazy way. Butt got kind of big. Sometimes they tend to get like squished down as you're working on them, and you have to kind of squish them back up. She got a big booty. All right, so I'm just gonna get the back of her a little bit damp with a paintbrush. And I'm gonna take some of my thin fondant, just apply it to the back and wrap it around. And then I'm just gonna cut off whatever part I don't want. Instead of trying to, you know, guess exactly what shape to get on her. It's a little bit of a cheat. If you guys notice, I haven't really used any powdered sugar or cornstarch. I don't really ever use that when I'm making toppers. Just kind of dries everything out, I feel. So this part is kind of like a low cut piece. So I'm gonna cut this. Let's see. Well, I kind of cut it too small. Cut a piece that's big enough, actually big enough. Step one. Okay. Lay that over. can cut that down. And then you can just cut off all the extra. Sorry if my hand's in the way. That's always a perpetual problem. So that's what we have so far. Make sure I'm keeping my curved back. All right. Now I'm going to put a belt. Yeah, I've added Tylose powder to everything except for the red because her shirt doesn't need to be firm. So now I'm going to put a belt around her bodice. Just going to roll out a thin piece of black. Super simple. Make sure this is visible. Okay. You guys kind of see what I'm doing here. Oh, there we are. Good night. Belt. I'm gonna keep her, like her belt accessory fairly simple. Just gonna put a little dot on there. Got some yellow-ish fondant, yellow, not too bright. This is supposed to be kind of like a vintage pinup, so I don't want to use any too kind of neon colors. Just gonna roll into a circle, flatten it with my fingers, put that there. Roll another circle. with my fingers. And I'm going to cut into a triangle. I always feel pressure to go fast when I'm doing periscopes. I'm trying to ignore that pressure right now and just take my time, make it look good. If you guys don't want to stick around, that's okay. I'm not going to hurt my feelings. I tried to warn you that it was going to be a long scope. Go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Put that there. Okay, 1 second. I just heard my camera turn off. I think my battery's dead. No? Battery's not dead. Not sure why it turned off. Plug in my other battery just in case. Don't want to have a bad video halfway through. Okay. All right, time for the next part. Going to do her legs. Preparation time. How much would I spend on a topper like this? Probably just a couple hours. I do it all at once. You double tap the screen to make hearts. All right, so I'm gonna kind of feel out how much fondant I need. Seems about right. This has Tylose in it. Well, it doesn't take me days because I've been making toppers for a long time. So I have a lot of practice. I feel like her lower body is not big enough. I'm gonna make her booty a little bit bigger. Sometimes you gotta make adjustments. All right. I feel like she needs more like upper body. Make the booty. And trim off the extras. Use a ball tool to make places for the legs. So I feel like she was missing kind of like her upper hip area. Because, you know, these are like high-waisted shorts. So, did a little quick redo. Yeah, I moved the camera down so you could see me moving on, working down here. You can see the proportions of her body are a little bit taller. All right, continuing on to roll out the leg. I'm moving my camera down, it's on purpose. You're gonna roll out a long skinny sausage. Yep, I'm making a full body. Then you're going to pinch the area where the back of the knee is going to be. And then thin out as you get to the ankle. And then pinch off what you don't need. Like this. And then you can pinch apart where the heel is. And then point the toe. So you have this shape. So you start thick, and then you pinch to make the calf, and then you pinch to make the ankle, and then the heel, and then the toe. Very curvy. And then her leg's gonna be bent, right? So we don't want this sort of flaccid looking knee. So we gotta bring your fingers together to point the knee. Like that. Don't forget to point the knee. I'm going to flatten the leg a little bit here. Just kind of do a test attachment. Make sure it looks correct. Okay. Just going to leave that knee there for a second. Come a little closer. Okay. I've got to make a boot. Put a little bit of water. Little bit of water. So the way I like to do my shoes is I make the base first. So I just take a little piece of fondant, squish it out. Like that. Just apply it to the bottom side of the foot. See? And then we roll out another flat piece. Squish it with your fingers. Put it over the toe. Cut off the part you don't want. So you have like the top part covered and the bottom part covered. Look at it like that going on. She got a little booty going on. We're gonna roll out some more and make the upper boot. She's wearing kind of like these slouch boots, I guess you could call them. Just gonna kind of eyeball it. Pray that you have enough to cover the whole back side of the leg. Come on. Make it stretch. I don't want to roll out another piece. And I just try and put the seam on the part that's going to be like against the cake so that you don't see that and I don't have to worry about that seam. Just make a couple little like slouchy boot lines. You can see I get very detailed. Not. I guess this would be pretty detailed for some people. This is almost, I don't know. It's funny because I started making cake toppers, you know, when I very first started making cakes. That's what I enjoyed making the most, was cake toppers. And the process that I have for making cake toppers is almost exactly the same as it was then. And it's not, I wouldn't say it's the best process or the easiest process. I sometimes use modeling chocolate because it can be easier depending on what you're trying to do. But I feel like you have to make a more elaborate armature. And I'm just so comfortable with using fondant at this point that that's what comes naturally to me. So some people ask me, you know, it's like, what's the difference between using fondant and modeling chocolate? And it's like, I don't really know if there is a good reason to use one or the other aside from just preference and what you're used to. Because, you know, it's like you can get used to pretty much anything. Just wrap our little piece around the top for the top part of the boot. Well, how long have we been doing this so far? It definitely hasn't been more than 2 hours. Cut a little star. I'm not very good at making stars. Okay, maybe I'll do the star later. See if I have a cutter. Okay. Oh, I need a piece of wire. Should have cut that wire first. You can use like a toothpick. But you just put like a little toothpick or a wire underneath her foot so that her leg doesn't collapse. I want her foot to be up higher. Yes, I did add Tylose powder to my fondant. Like she needs another piece of wire. See how her leg's buckling forward a little bit? Can never have too much support. That way her leg doesn't buckle. And then I'm just going to add a little strip of fondant over the top of her leg to be like the rolled part of her pant leg. Checking on my camera, make sure everything's going okay there still. Thanks. Now we're going to do the other leg. I feel like I just want her leg to be up higher. One second. Can I teach how to pack this topper overseas? I don't think I can teach that. Okay. leg. Well, I do one should be about there. Nobody taught me how to make toppers. Self-taught with that. It's kind of a trial experience that I had to go through over a period of years. But when I first started making toppers, there wasn't really like YouTube, and there definitely wasn't that many cake tutorials. So it was just kind of a trial and error experience. And so I started making cake topper tutorials. That was like one of the very first tutorials I ever made, because I was just really excited that I figured something out. And now I look back at those tutorials. They're still on YouTube. I look back at those tutorials and I think that they're so bad. They're like so not very good. The proportions are not good. But so, you know, when people like start saying, oh, I'm going to start making tutorials, and I'm like, well, you should probably like wait until you have a little bit more experience. I think about where I was when I first started making tutorials, and I didn't wait till I had very much experience either, because to me, what I was making at the time was really cool and very good, and it wasn't like anything else out there at the time. But because I made those tutorials, it led to me figuring out that I really like making toppers, and that I like teaching. So, I mean, even though it wasn't necessarily, that leg's too small. Even though it wasn't like the best tutorial, it led me to a place that was good. So it's like, you know, I don't know. I try not to be one of those haters, you know? It's like everybody starts somewhere, and I certainly was not very good. And I still have lots of room for improvement. Like, some people, that's all they do. Like Nadia from Chocolat, she makes amazing figures, and that's pretty much all she does. So I haven't made a topper in forever. So I feel like I'm a little bit rusty. To be honest, I feel a little bit rusty right now. But it's okay. I actually feel surprisingly not nervous, because I kind of feel like I'm in my element. Like, this is what I do. That looks better. I'm not really explaining how to do this second leg because it's exactly like the other leg. Surprise! Spoiler alert. Alright, I'm going to put the boot on. I really feel like I should have put more Tylose powder in this leg because it keeps kind of sagging. and it shouldn't do that. I'm trying to think what I can do to support it better without distorting my leg, you know? Totally gonna jab my eye out on this thing. Cover the bottom of the sole. And then the top. I don't, sometimes I get nervous. If things start going wrong, I start getting nervous. Because it's, you know, you feel pressure to be perfect on a live feed. But as long as I don't feel pressure to go fast and everybody seems to be enjoying what they're watching, I don't usually feel too nervous. I've had some periscopes though sometimes where they some stuff starts going wrong and then I just start getting really, really flustered. Those are not fun. It's not fun to feel like you're sucking and like nobody wants to watch this crap. Sometimes people can be really rude too, you know? They'll be like, this is slow, this is boring. Like if you ever open up a YouTube channel, God help you. Because the people on YouTube are relentless. They will criticize you for whatever you put out. And it's free. Like it's a free video. You don't have to pay for it. It's like you'd think that they would be you know, like excited that you just even put something out there to be helpful, but they're so critical. So critical. So you have to just kind of learn to be, you gotta learn to have a thick skin and just ignore. That's the best advice I can give you, is just ignore. Second leg. You should try. I think everybody should try the things that they love. What's the worst that could happen? All right. I have this face mold, but it's way too big for this. This is the face mold that I sent out to my members on Sugar Geek Show. So if you're on Sugar Geek Show now and you're an elite member, then you got this face mold. So if I would have made her a little bit bigger, I could have used this face mold, but it's a little bit small. So that means we're just going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. They just got sent out this last weekend, so they should be here soonish. All right, just give me a second. I got to change out my battery on my camera. Okay. FaceTime. For any of you joining in late, I'm filming this as I go for YouTube, so I have to pause sometimes and adjust the camera and stuff. What cost how much? Let's see. Looks about right. About the face shape we're going for. Roll into a teardrop. I'm going to try and show you this as best as possible. Use a medium ball tool to make the eye socket area. We're going to pinch up a nose. Try not to make the nose too big. Keep it dainty. Use your ball tool to thin the bridge. Hi, Anna. Look, I'm periscoping. Aren't you proud of me? Okay. These ball tools come in a set. 3. And you get them in the clay section at Michael's or Joann's. And they're about $14. And I use them all the time. I'm going to put my finger on top of the mouth and bring forward the chin. If you feel like you're getting a little bit dry, just put some shortening on there. Just keeps everything moisturized. Moisturize me. I'm drying out. Moisturize me. Who knows what that's from? You get bonus points if you know what that's from. Then we're going to take our tiny ball tool, make a little hole here, flip it over, make one on the other side. Make sure they're centered. The line I'm drying out, moisturize me. What's that from? I can't believe nobody in here knows. I don't know if we could be friends. Maybe it's not moisturize. I think it is moisturize. Maybe it's spray me. I think it's moisturize. It's Doctor Who. No Whovians in here, I guess. Alright, I'm going to take a tiny bit of white fondant and put it into that hole. Like that. Both sides. And then I'm using a Dresden tool to kind of shape the eye. This is a PME Dresden tool. It's very, very good for doing faces. All right. Need some food color. Let's go with blue. A little fine-tipped paintbrush. A little bit of paint. Try your hardest to make a nice circle. If you fail at making a circle, you can always just wipe it off with some water and just do it again. Two little circles. I got these brushes from the Ribbon Shack in Ireland. Pretty sure she ships, so if you really love them, you can definitely get them from her. From Brita. Maybe some black. Pardon my reaching. I always save all of my leftover fondant because it's great for making toppers. Actually, it does notify me when somebody takes a screenshot. I don't know why, but it's fine. It doesn't bother me. Right. Make a little bit of a mouth. Let's see. What can I use here? I need like a really, really narrow tool. Nice to know how to order from Ireland. Go to the Ribbon Shack. The Ribbon Shack. If you just Google it, I'm sure it'll come up. And she has an online store. Yeah, I only know about the screenshots because I don't remember what I was doing. I was doing something and somebody took a screenshot and it was like, it like told me that somebody took a screenshot and I was like, oh, that's weird. Maybe it's just in case you're being naked on Periscope. They want to warn you. And just putting a little piece of white fondant into the mouth. So now she's got a smile. Yeah, if you're doing the whip whip nay nay. I'm putting a little line in between so it looks like she has teethers. Big cheesy smile. Cheese grommet. And then you can use a sugar shaper or something to just kind of indent the area at the edges so it looks like they're smiling more. Make some cheeks. I get the sugar shapers from sugarartworks.com or I believe Lucy Cake Design in California sells them too on her website. So she looks kind of weird right now. Add a little bit of water above her eyes and where the eyebrows are going to go and her lips. Just a little. I'm going to do the lips first. Take a little piece of the red. You're welcome. Glad you're enjoying them. I see the numbers keep dropping. People just they like can't watch something that's super long. They get bored. Which is fine. I gotta film a tutorial anyway, so just rolling out a thin piece of fondant for the bottom of the lip. Just press that on there. Depends. I have both, the firm and the soft. The firm isn't as good for like indenting textures or sorry, the firm is better for indenting textures, but it's a little harsh for making features. So sometimes, just depending on how firm of a mark you want to make is how soft or firm you want the sugar shapers to be. If I had to choose, like if you were like holding a gun to my head, I would probably choose the soft, because you can always use something that's firmer, like a butter knife or a plastic tool, but it's hard finding something that's softer. So just little skinny pieces of fondant for the lips. And then to give them definition, you take a little ball tool and just flatten it out a little bit. Subtle touches for faces. Try not to make them look like a drag queen. Not that there's anything wrong with drag queens. Although Wonder Woman is kind of a drag queen. Yeah. I mean, she does wear a lot of makeup. I'm just kidding. I love you, Wonder Woman. Here we go. So now we have a nice smile. I don't have any plans to come to Oklahoma at this time. I am going to be in many other places though this year. Going to be in Virginia and Florida, California, Texas, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. It's a lot. Sure. You want the face or the body? Let me finish the face before I show you up close. I gotta add her eyelashes and her eyebrows. I'm gonna be at National Capital Sugar Art Show. I think that's Richmond. I can't remember exactly. So for the eyelashes, I'm gonna roll out a thin piece of black fondant. And then I'm gonna cut it in half. Like so. And the thick side, sorry, the thin side goes on the inner eye. Okay, too long. Calm down, eyelashes. Too long. Yeah, so to get this damp so that it sticks easily. Yeah, you can totally do 50-50 for figures if you want to. I just, I usually don't. I gotta wash my hands real quick. Hands were getting kind of sticky. You start messing with these little fiddly bits, it can get a little sticky. All right, so you see we have this tiny little piece of fondant. And you lay that on the eye. Then you use your X-Acto blade to move it around into the position that you want it to be. Just make sure the eyelash is touching the top of your circle that you painted, otherwise she's going to look really surprised. See? You think she looks like the Joker? Well, that's not good. There you go. 2 eyelashes. Alright, now she needs some eyebrows. Eyebrow is the same process as the eyelashes. Just a very thin piece of fondant. Whatever. You can't take it back now. Can't just say she looks like the Joker and then be like, no, she looks good, I'm just kidding. That's like saying, oh, that dress makes you look fat. Oh, just kidding. There we go. Eyebrow. I'm always jealous of my topper's eyebrows. Eyebrows are like way better than mine. Other side. Fierce eyebrows, because she is Wonder Woman after all. I did go to culinary school. I went to Oregon Culinary Institute here in Portland, and that's where I learned how to bake. Watch me whip, watch me bake, bake. Okay, put a hole in the base of the head. Believe it or not, we're almost done, I swear. Okay. Details, details. I know. Who got this song stuck in my head? Jerks. Now I got Whip and Nene stuck in my head. Watch me whip, whip. Watch me Nene. Yay! Is that you, Michelle? Miss Now Cakes? Hey, hi. Yeah. What, you guys don't make up random songs? Psh, I don't think we can be friends. Making up random songs is my life. Hey, Lisa. All right. I'm going to make her little collar. Not going to get really like specific with it. Just cutting a little notch out in here and there. When you're working with like small toppers, you can't get super detailed. Well, you can, I guess. But for me, you know, it's like the more time you spend on it, the less money you make. So sometimes with like toppers, I feel like you gotta learn how to, you gotta know when to say when. Like it's done, you know? You can put details on there forever if you wanted to. But at some point you have to just be like, okay, I can't spend forever on the hair or I'm not going to make a profit on this. So that's why I started making face molds. I sculpted like a little face from clay, and I baked it, and then I made a mold from it using Amazing Mold Putty A and B. Oops, kicked my camera. And then so then I could make faces really quickly using a face mold, but it's still something I made. So it's not like I'm, you know, making a face that I can't make. It just makes the time go by faster. I must have missed a joke. It's hard for me to look at all these different places. So you see her collar? Uh-oh. Alrighty then. So I think I'm going to make her back arm first, and then we'll do the hair, and then we'll do the other arm, and then she'll be done. So easy, right? Can you guys hear my husband hacking away in the background? Is everybody on here signed up for sugargeekshow.com? Because I do have more tutorials on there. $17 a month for 2 new tutorials every month. And I think there's over, yeah, Dan is sick. He's got a very bad cold. Alright, hand is very similar to the leg. You roll out a sausage and flatten out the tip part for the hand, and then squeeze for the wrist. And then squeeze for the area right above the elbow. And then you end at the upper arm. Like that. This is fondant. And then pinch for the elbow. And for the hand, see if I can show you this. Try and show you this. Try and get you a little bit closer. Cut out a triangle. Like that. And then 1, 2, 3 cuts. And then soften the fingers by just rolling them gently. And that's one hand. This is the right hand, or the left hand though, so Just put that right there, and then make the other hand. Yay, you signed up to be a sugar geek? Thank you. I really appreciate that. When you sign up, you can have access to tutorials right away, so you can start watching. Binge watch to your heart's content. Oh, I'm so glad that you have learned a lot. Thank you. I really enjoy teaching you guys. It's super fun. It's pretty much the best job ever. Somebody asked me the other day if I missed making cakes for clients, and I actually don't. I actually don't miss it at all, because I get to make tutorials for cake decorators, and cake decorators are much more appreciative and supportive of creativity than clients ever were. Like, clients, I feel, are just kind of critical. Like, you can pour your heart and soul into something and make it really beautiful, and they're just like, this isn't what I asked for. Or they like kill you with back and forth emails, and it's the worst. And I just don't miss that. Don't miss that at all. All right, so there's our hand. We're just gonna attach that at the shoulder, like that. Like so. And then I'm just going to put like a little cap sleeve over her arm. Hey, hello. Just a little flat piece of fondant. I'm trying to use as little cutters and tools as possible on this, because people, you know, don't always have special tools. Especially when you're a beginner, you know, you probably just have like a couple modeling tools and that's it. So with these free tutorials for YouTube, I try and keep it pretty simple. Just like X-Acto blade, simple cutters. And then, you know, as you keep growing in your profession, you can add more tools to your repertoire. But you really don't need a lot. I feel like the only time you really need specific tools is when you, you know, you want to get something done really quick. Like I've used a lot of molds in my career as a cake decorator because I needed to get stuff done really fast. So if I'm making toppers all the time, it makes sense to have a face mold because that makes it go faster. How's it going?
It's been stopped.
Uh-oh, my camera's stopped. I wonder how long it stopped.
Probably less than a minute if it said it stopped automatically.
I think it just stops filming after like 20 minutes.
Oh.
So, if you like don't touch the camera at all. All right, so that's what we got so far. Almost done. Can anybody tell me how long we've been doing this? Just curious to see if my estimation of how long this was going to take was spot on or not. I think it's been about an hour and 15 minutes. Could be off though. I do use editing software. The camera is filming just to my left, so it's just right there. You see it? So it's just next to the phone, basically. So I said that this would take me about 2 hours, so I'm actually ahead of schedule a little bit. So I'm just going to take a wire and just go down into, all the way into the styrofoam. Measure out about where I need to cut it. And then I'm going to carefully thread this hand onto this wire with hopefully not poking through anywhere. Oops, gotta plug my phone in. Sorry. Bumping you guys around. Then cover the seam. Sure. And another little white strip. Thanks, Anna. Glad you like her. One thing I think I need to add to her is some little cuffs to her arms. Just gonna get this a little damp. That's a very Wonder Woman type thing, you know? Like if you don't have the little, gosh, what are they even called? Crap all over my desk. Bracelets, cuffs, yeah, I don't know. Okay, just gonna roll out some. And then I'll paint those gold after she's dried. And the last thing I need to do is put on some hair, which is always really fun. Usually I wait till she's a little bit more dry to do hair because it's a little bit easier, but I think it'll be okay. I'll take my chances with you guys for the sake of finishing. Hey Scott, you're still in here? Wow. I'm impressed. All right, so the way we do hair, you start off with small pieces of fondant and you build up from the bottom of her head to the top. You don't want to start from the top and go down because then she's going to have a big gap. So you start with little strips of fondant. You're here from the start too? Awesome. Thanks, guys. I'm going to back you up just a little bit so you can see both of these processes. So I'm just going to texture the fondant with my modeling tool. So we have like that. And then you can kind of give it some character. Just attach it to the bottom of the head. Like that. So now, I showed you that once, so I'm not going to keep showing you how I did the hair. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go. And I'm going to get you closer so you can see her. Don't forget some at the back. Sorry, I can't really see. Something about a booty. I missed it. Yeah, receding hairline, a little bit. Gotta build it all up. What are you working on, Shelly? Top secret. Uh-oh. Oh, that usually means trouble. So excuse me. The reason why I usually wait until the head is dry to do the hair is because it can get squished when you're doing this part, adding the hair. So if you don't wait till it dries, just gotta be really careful that you don't accidentally squish all your hard work. But I do typically wait for the body and the head to dry before I add the hair, just in case you guys are wondering. I'm going to give her a little bit of a headband because that's how the picture looks. Yeah, you could definitely end up with a cone head. Just flattening another piece of the yellowish fondant. And then I'm just going to cut it so that it has a point to look like a bandana. Like so. And then like a little tie. You can see most of this is just really simple shapes. Nothing special. It's just practice and the knowledge of what you're going for. I try to always work off of like an inspiration photo or some sort of reference, because it's really hard to kind of imagine something while you're making it 3D. Thank you, Anna. I'm gonna give her some cute bangs. Almost done. So this took me about an hour and probably about an hour and a half. And it wasn't for a client. It wasn't for a show. Technically it's for YouTube, but it was really mostly for you guys and because I wanted to do it. And I think people get caught up in the fact that they think that they don't have time to create something that they just want to create. Now, obviously, if you did this yourself, probably would take you more than 2 hours because you probably, are learning and you haven't made 5 million toppers like I have in my lifetime of making cakes. But that's how you get better at stuff, is you just practice and you just make stuff that is exciting to you and you feel passionate about. You know, maybe it's not Wonder Woman, maybe it's zombies, or maybe it's princesses and Frozen. Whatever it is, you should just make time to make it. Wait till the baby goes to sleep, like mine, and just do it. And honestly, the worst thing that could ever happen is that you don't learn anything, which is probably not going to happen if you try and do something that you've never done before. You always learn something, you know? I'm going to leave this one in, but basically she's done. I'll have to paint her gold. I probably could do that right now. Let me go get my Rokem gold. Yay, I'm glad you guys like her. Got my Rokem gold here. I love putting gold on stuff. It's kind of my favorite thing. I have to remember sometimes when I'm like making my tutorials to not just like make everything gold. It's like, okay, Liz, calm down on the gold. Not everybody is obsessed with gold like you are. But they should be. Yeah. Gold. Ta-da! That definitely makes her look more Wonder Woman-y. Gold really sets it off. Okay. Well, sheesh. The boots don't have gold on them. They have the white stripes. I should put some stars. I like keep thinking of things that I need to add. See, this is how you get in trouble with making a cake for clients or something. Because you keep saying, oh, it's done, it's done. And then you're like, wait, I gotta add this thing. Oh, wait, I gotta add this thing. I'm gonna add this too. I swear this will be the last thing. The stripes are just part of the boot design. That's part of Wonder Woman's look, is she has white stripes on her boots. If I can attempt to draw a star. Kind of okay. Passable, barely. I wish I had a cutter that was small enough to do these little tiny stars. Oh, she needs a lasso. Yeah. Okay, shoot. I think I could probably do that. You guys are killing me. I keep trying to be done. It's fine, really. It's not like I got anywhere to be. Just hanging out with you guys. All right, lasso. Gotta put it in this hand up here. I mean, that's the only logical spot. Can't make it too heavy though. Just take a small amount of yellow. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm definitely a night owl. I hate the morning and I love the night. I never ever want to go to sleep. It's like a perpetual problem. Just rolling out really skinny. I know you can't see, but I'm just rolling out a very skinny piece of fondant. I just don't want to move the camera. I swear it's not interesting. See? Skinny piece of fondant. Then I'm just gonna loop it. Ta-da! Like her arms a little bit. It's a little bit out. Stay there, arm. Okay, now she's done, guys. No more. Pretty cool though, huh? 2 hours. Oh, Shelly, thank you. Isn't it supposed to be Holden? Holden what? Golden. Yeah, it's gonna stay yellow. I'm glad you guys like her. Thank you for hanging out with me while I made her and giving me an excuse to do something with my evening. You guys have any questions about the process? Now that I'm looking at my phone. Bye, Devin. Talk to you later. Thank you for hanging out on my Periscope. Devin's trying to get good at doing videos too. Bye, Scott. Oh, hi, Ray. I didn't know you were in here. You're welcome. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Okay. Bye, guys. Nope. I used to have to wait until the body dried and like the head dried and all that stuff, but I've done toppers so many times I can do them all at once. So I just kind of can tell how much fondant to, add, or how much Tylose to add to the fondant. Best way to dry is just let it dry at room temperature. Bye, Ray. Good night, Scott. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I know it's late. It's very, very late. It's almost midnight. I need to get off, too. And I hopefully captured everything okay on the new camera. And this will be a very nice quality video for YouTube in a couple days. Thanks, everybody. Glad you enjoyed it. This kind of looks like Ray. If she had like a little bit of a purple in here. She's like the Wonder Woman of Australia. Good night. A cup of tea with some scotch in it. That would definitely clear up the throat. Okay, guys. I'll see you later. Thanks so much for hanging out with me.